Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to today's video. Oh, I'm so annoyed about today. Simple idiot mistakes cost me probably definitely $50, maybe even up to $100 today. And I will talk about it all in the video. So no trades. I'm going to talk about everything. The two really good positions that we could have made a lot of money on. One of them just sort of is what it is, and I'll explain later. And then one of them was just an idiot mistake that cost me not getting into the trade. Then I was a little bit too late, and then the stock went without me. And to say I probably could have captured 50 to $1 is on 100 shares, is no joke. But yeah, super annoyed about that. But as always, we'll talk about it. Let's get into the video. So there were four stocks we were looking at pre-market: SGMO, SFET, RIOT, ADMA. ADMA was the top of the list, but didn't really like anything about it, to be honest. It just had, you look at the daily chart, it's no real sort of, it's just whippy, because it's a high float stock. I think it was around 30 million, but no real information to get from the chart. Gapped up in the morning, made a really nice move. Then you see just for like the last hour before the market opened, it's just trading sideways. Had no idea, 50-50 whether it's going to go up, whether it's going to go down, and it basically just sold off. So nothing really there interesting, sadly, maybe unless you're shorting it. But I couldn't find really anything on the daily to give me good confirmation from a short. There was so SFET and Riot, they play pretty much similar today in this way, in the terms of, well, at least in the first hour, the first 40 minutes. I'd go with Riot first, because this came up in the scanner first. So SFET and Riot did the same things, but Riot was actually moving a little bit. I think it's because of the recent Bitcoin increase. You see it gets towards the open, it started to sell off. But one thing it did, you see here, made a nice move. It done this pullback, but Riot has been a tricky one in the past. I don't know on the daily if it's just, it's moving up nicely, it's sort of curling around, but Riot's been a tricky one in the past. It's kind of hard to trust it, and this is kind of the reason. And we got this nice move up, but still, I mean, this would have been a good one. Pullback, didn't really sit in real time, wasn't really 100% sure on it. But this is where we got this nice move up, and then we got the washout. But the problem is with this washout, it was absolutely insane. A high of almost 510, washed out all the way down to that 450 area. So that's absolutely insane. The reason I didn't take the washout is because it's pretty much washing out all of its gains. I know we've got this gap up here, but it's pretty much just destroying the momentum of the stock, because it's almost just too big. So we kind of would want this to go further, wash out down, but a washout that just doesn't kill the stock. And if you got in anywhere like the previous candle here, it was very hard to get a bounce. So I was really happy that I didn't take that. And then it went further, and a lot of people probably would have got stuck if they went to buy the dips. They'd have ripped there. But yeah, I didn't like it, and mainly reason is there wasn't much to go on the support side of where it could wash out to. And once again, it just washed out too much of its movement that it's made here. So really wasn't interested in it. So I stopped looking at base. I think it curled up a little bit. No, it curled up a little bit, and then it washed out again. So really awful one to trade. SFET pretty much the same, just with less volume pre-market. You see here, it gapped up, not a pretty looking chart. SFET is just known for, you look at these wicks, known for making big moves up and selling off. So you see here, big move up, sold off, and this was towards the end of the day, so didn't have a chance to actually sell all its gains. But it just gives you an idea, when this stock moves up, it's coming back down. So use previous history to give you an information on it. Don't hold. So if you used to buy, you don't want to be holding the stock, because you know it's going to come down and come down fast. So you see here, apologise, still got this cough. You see here, no volume, and a little bit of volume started to come here. It made a push there. So interesting, basically getting interested in the stock now, because volume's starting to come in, and we know this can make a big move for the upside. Yeah, it made a pullback here, but still on really low volume, so not really interested. Then it made this nice move here, and you see here all the volume started to come here for the break of that 312. So that would have been a nice little move there. I didn't take it. I was looking for the pullback, And then what happened again, it sort of made this pullback, not really to anywhere. I know it's got the VWAP there, but I didn't really want to buy off the high of day. And then you see here, we got this washout, and it done pretty much the same as Riot. So that's kind of the reason why I didn't buy this one, is because once again it's sort of it's just a crazy washout from the 326 area down to that 288. I mean, for me, it'd been better if it washed out down to like here, the $3. That would have been a nice little support area of that whole dollar, and then look for the bounce. But because it's gone way past the $3 down to this 286, I know it lined up here a little bit, but once again, it's given back all its move. And given the little history we just had a minutes before, if you look here, this is at 943, and if you look at Riot happened at you see here like 939. So if I go to select mode, you see there, what was it, 940, that wash happened there on Riot, and then you see 3 minutes later the same thing happened again on 943, happened on SFET. So given that history, I just wasn't interested in buying it. This one actually did bounce, so let's say it was 288, so 290, and it bounced up here. Well, you might have got 7 or 8 cents, nothing amazing, a little bounce. You know, if you had big shares, maybe you would have made a little bit of money, $80 or something, but only a little bounce, and then it washed out again. So really wasn't interested in it because of that reason. So from a long standard, just didn't really see anything else that I was overly happy about. I think CIFS made a little move, but once again on low volume. CTRM, that made a decent move, but and there's definitely opportunities here. But at this time, I was watching SGMO. So, and it's not clean. Once again, low volume, no big wicks. Nothing really clean, big candles. You see here, it got halted on really low volume. So who knows what's going to happen? It opened up higher, pulled back, then it went. It looks like we might have got a little 5-minute setup here, maybe a 5-minute setup. Yeah, this isn't too bad. Where we got this, it's only got one consolidation. We'd like another sort of candle and then the setup. But yeah, really sort of hard to trade. So let's talk about the main one I was watching, SGMO. Once again. So pre-market, this is a high float, but you see pre-market, this one was making all the moves. It made a big move from $8 up to that $15 area, and so given the flow, I was a bit hesitant on it, but it was looking like this was the only one that I was really going to play today. And how I'm sort of structuring my trading now, to give you an insight on my strategies, that you've got the two sides of the move definitely at the open, well, the first 20-30 minutes, maybe an hour, but you've got the front side of the move and you've got the back side of the move. I'm literally looking to long the front side of the move for them quick scalps, so maybe your 10 cent, 20 cent, 30 cent if it's good, and then on the back side of the move I'm looking to short, but try and hold it longer and get those bigger gains than maybe them 50 cent, 80 cent, $1. So that's kind of my strategy now that I'm looking to do. So didn't get too much on the on the long side today. But on the short side, let me show you. So I allocated shares, as you see here, and I had an order rejected, which you'll see there, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. But let me show you this quickly. So SGMO. So let's go maximize this. This is easier now. So SGMO. Ignore this candle here because this is today, but we see it moving up. And one thing I noticed in the chart, as you see, we've got this gap here, so mark out the bottom of that candle, and then because this price was slightly higher, as I said, pre-market, so instead of marking the high of the actual pre-market candle, I just sort of mark the rest of this candle here, this 442, 450 area, and then the gap closed there, and then I mark these candles. So they just give you an idea of what I'm marking, and you see how relevant these candles can make play. And see what relevance they will play in the 1 minute candle. And now if you watch this, this is the 1 minute, maximize. You see how they literally just lined up perfectly. So Really good to see. You see how it's that 1362. Yeah. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles there, and I'll just show you once again on the daily. You see how that's that wick, that's the body, that's the open of that candle, that's the close. This is the gap, so that's the top of the wick, and that's the body of that. And you see, so you've got them 5 candles, and you see how they just come into play today, quite perfectly actually. Really, really strange, but really good to see. So my plan for this was actually to short it off the 1450 area. So you see how pre-market has made this great move up. Let me try and just shorten this a bit. Where is this? I'll try and shorten it. Let's go this way. Anyway, that this will do. So you see here how it's made this big move up. So this is all pre-market. It makes this move up all the way to literally to, well, what's that, 1480. But you see how it pretty much come to that area of that previous gap. So it's filled the gap, and now that gap's now becoming resistance. So what I saw is, as you see here, it comes up. It started to sell off pre-market, so we're getting a good idea that this is now becoming resistance. You see it's come up and touch this 1450, and it's 1450 as well, that $half area, which is really nice. So you see how it broke, come back beneath. It's not breaking again. It broke through but had a rejection. You see this wick here, which is really good to see. So this was like 9:21. If we look at the time here, if you look on the top left hand side of that box, at the top of the box it says 9:21, and you see how that, I should have just got in there really. I saw the rejection, but my thinking was, I'll see what happens at the market open, and you'll just see what happens at the open here. Let me come back. There we go. So you see how at the open, I was hoping that when it opened, it was holding this 1422 area. I was hoping it retests this 1450 just to give me that confirmation, because it can be wild at the open. See what happens. I wanted to retest this $half area and then see a big rejection and get in short, and then ride it down to its supporting areas. And where could we ride that down to? Well, we look at our candles. We look at the previous support. So we see the pre-market and our line here. We've pretty much got that 1362 area, so we could ride that down for a 90-cent move all the way down to the 1362 area, which we marked out on the daily chart, and it's sort of got a little bit of confirmation here of support on the 1-minute chart. And if not, the next area is what we marked out on the daily, which is the bottom of that gap, which is 1252, and you see how it pretty much just touched that all the way, and that was a crazy move. So if we got in at the 1450 area and ride it down to the 1250, that's a $2 move. Absolutely crazy. I missed that one due to the reason, and that is what it is. That's what stocks do. They can run without you. That's the one I'm not annoyed about. Maybe hindsight, I should have just got in because we'll see that retest, but I was waiting for the market to open, and then I missed the move. So I wasn't going to chase once it started going down. I want to get the best price possible, and you never know. This I could have bought here, and then it bounced on me, so didn't really want that. So it goes down to this line 1250, and you see it makes a nice move back up, trying to get up to that 1362 area, which I had marked out on the daily, and you see how it doesn't even get there, and it rejects back down to the 1250, and this is what happens. So you see here, it makes this move back up to this area again, breaks a bit higher, get a nice wick at the top here, gets rejected, it opens up here, sells off, tries to touch it, but then sells off again. So I was looking to get in short there, and if you look at the time here, I mean, what are these ones? These are 1018, 1019, so you see that area there, and then it just sells off. If you look at my order rejection and my account order history, 1018, yeah, so 1018 to 1019. What happened? I haven't set up hotkeys to short. I just allocated the shorts. Only cost me a couple dollars and 100 shares. And you see here, I put limit. I kept limit order basically on, and I went to press short, and it comes up here. The order price is less than the stock price restricted, or restricted. So basically means you need to use a market order. I didn't set a bloody price, so of course I'm not going to get filled. So absolute amateur mistake. Really annoyed. And then what does the stock do? As you see here, when it touched that, it just sold off. It come back down here, down to the 13 area. It tried to take a little push back up. I'd probably been a little bit worried, and then it sold off. But what I'd be doing in this instance, I probably would have sold after this big wash, if I'm being honest, which was down to the 1280, 1290 area. So still like a 50 cent move. But I'm always actually looking for, and that's if emotions came into play. I think I would have sold it there. But if you look on the chart, I would have looked to play the chart. And the chart means it could go all the way down to that 1250 area, which it did. You see how it come into play again, making this wave here up and then down to the 1250 area. So my order was around here, around the 1340 area, risking off that 20 cents off that 62. And he said once it broke, I wasn't going to chase it because it happens quite quick. Hindsight, maybe I should have just quickly changed it and got in still, but really annoyed with that. Absolutely amateur mistake. But the good thing is, as I hope you can see here, the shorts are making more sense. I'm having much more of a structured plan regarding shorting. You said my strategies are going forward. Wants to repeat myself. Is on the upside, so on this front side of the move here, as you see, I'm looking to long. Quick scalps, back in and out, really fast. Wash out longs, ball flags, pullbacks. That's what I'm looking to do. Quick scalps, 10 cent, 20 cent, 15 cent, whatever it may be, and then wait for this to sort of fall in the line of a plan that I've got for a shorting perspective, and then look to ride that short for longer for a bigger win. So missed the first entry here, is what it is. You can see my idea. I wanted to see what happened at the pre-market, and it just tanked without me, so I weren't going to chase it. So really good that I didn't get FOMO and chase it. And here, I mean, we could have even got in on here because we got this rejection. This happened very fast. You see here, it just touched, not a real wick, and then it got rejected. But once it curled around here, missed out so much there. Such a good win that would have been. But oh well. Tomorrow's another day. Really happy, giving me confidence that I pulled the trigger. I fired a blank basically, but they are starting to make much more sense to me. And you see here how these lines came into play perfectly today, how my thought process would have worked, and tomorrow's another day. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you tomorrow. Let's place a trade then. Bye bye.